guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Healing Honey if it's your first time here. So today, you guys, I want to share with you guys how we can do shadow work for deep self-love and self-acceptance. Like how we can work on this relationship that we have with ourselves. It really affects every single other part of our life, and I love sharing with you guys about self-love, the things that I've learned. And on this channel, we're always talking about how we can heal ourselves and how we can be our best version, how we can grow spiritually and just really feel good from the inside out. I feel like I've learned so much on my journey, and I'm here to share it with you guys. So make sure you drop me a comment, let me know your thoughts, and thank you so much for being here. You know, there's like so many fun things we can talk about when it comes to self-love and self-care, how to take care of our physical appearance and glow up, you know, but there's so many deeper things that I don't really hear as much about, and sometimes it's icky, it can be hard work, but it's really worth it if you want to gain inner peace, confidence, and attract healthy relationships to yourself, be in a healthy place. A lot of times we can be feeling down and we don't really know why, and there's so many things that we can reach to distract ourselves, to make us feel good in the moment, whether it's drugs, alcohol, food, sex, gambling, video games, you name it, other people, focusing on everything outside of ourselves. And it's going to give us that temporary distraction, but then you're still going to be having the same issues inside, right? Until we can face them. And so when I talk about self-love, I'm talking about the deepest parts of ourselves, peeling ourselves like an onion and getting to know ourselves, knowing yourself, your soul, your essence, so that you can really bloom into your most authentic self. Feel so good and be there for yourself. This is real self-love. So if you're interested, then keep watching. So how to really love yourself, how to really know your own worth. And a lot of times in this world, if somebody knows their own worth, if they see themselves in a good light, it can be misjudged as they're arrogant, self-absorbed, narcissistic, all these things. But we have an ego, but we also have a spirit. And so I want to talk about shadow work in today's video, because shadow work is really an awesome way to see your ego from your spirit and really do this inner healing on yourself that's going to help you understand yourself better and why you make the decisions that you do, why your life is in the place that it's in. Okay, so we're gonna dive deep. I wanna ask you guys, are you the source of your own happiness? Or is it dependent on something outside of yourself? Because a lot of us can get our sense of self from our work or from other people, how much money you have in the bank, material things, the things that we can see, how other people perceive us. But the thing with having your happiness depend on other things besides yourself is that it can be taken away, and you really give away your power that way. So this is something I've been learning about in my own life. When I get down and real and raw with myself and do this shadow work, what is shadow work? We all have an ego and a shadow living within us, okay? And so your ego, you can see it as, it's the part of you that wants to remain unblemished, perfect, okay? It's your ego. You can think of it as your mask, your shield, your persona in this world. It's your protection. So the ego is not a bad thing, but you want to become aware of your ego. That's why you hear people say, oh, they got a really big ego. Like they think they're all that, they could do no wrong, right? Everyone has an ego, and its purpose is to protect you in this world and to shield you. However, we all have light and dark living within us. Heaven, hell, these are states of being within our own self, because we're each universes creating our own world. We're so powerful. So you have this ego, right? And it thinks it can do no wrong. And it's out here protecting you. It's your persona, your shield, your mask, how you present yourself to the world. And it doesn't want to look like it needs anything. It's strong, it's fearless, right? It's the perception that we can have of ourselves, everyone. Then you have your shadow. So your shadow self hides from your ego. It's lurking. It's also within you, but you have to dig within yourself for it to surface. It remains hidden in the shadows. And it's the parts of you that your ego despises. It's the parts of you that seem weak, that seem wounded, that seem too dark to present themselves. Okay, so we have these two opposing natures within our body. Our ego, you can see it as the light, and the shadow, the dark, right, within us, just as an example. So shadow work is about you digging deep to see what's really inside of me. If you're facing a problem in your life, you're going through something, you're going through it, when you take the time to be still and you surrender and you humble yourself, because remember, the ego can be associated with pride. And anyone who has too much pride, there's going to be problems there, because we have to find a balance. It's not that you have to be so weak. It's that we have to surrender to our vulnerabilities. We all have been wounded in this world because this is a spiritual journey. So you're going to be facing tests, trials, pain, suffering, despair, grief, anger, disappointment. And a lot of times we want to turn away from that. Oh, I don't want to be depressed. Oh, I don't want to be weak. Oh, I don't want to be perceived. That's your ego telling you that you're just so strong and fierce so that you don't need any help. You're perfect as you are. But when you do shadow work, it's about surrendering to your rawest feelings, letting them surface, and just covering them with love and acceptance, and validating your own feelings. Okay, so I want to share with you guys a technique you can use to do shadow work. It's something I've been using in my own life, and it has been so powerful, I'm telling you. I don't know if you've heard of mirror affirmations. It's similar, but what I'll do is I will set aside time in my day to sit in front of my mirror by myself, and it's like a me time. It's like a me date. We talk about self-love and this relationship we have with ourselves. It's about putting effort and setting aside time intentionally to be there for yourself and discover yourself, just like you would in a relationship. You make time for your partner, you communicate to them, you love them, you're there for them. So self-love, for me, the way I see it, is you doing all those things for yourself. So I'll sit in front of a mirror and I will look in my own eyes and I will communicate with myself, especially if I'm going through something, but even if I'm not. And this is like a beautiful way to really get to know yourself. When you look in your eyes, you cannot hide from yourself. And what's so cool about this life experience, you guys, is that we see all these things, but we never really see ourselves until we make the time to do it, until we're intentional. And that's when your whole life changes for the better. You become so powerful, you can heal yourself, and you just feel connected to your soul, to God, and to everything around you, because life is a mirror. And so I'll sit in front of a mirror and I will speak to myself. I will communicate, okay, what am I going through? Why do I feel this way? And I gotta tell you guys the truth. When I was doing this, I was like, I gotta make a video about this. When you're doing this type of work on yourself, inner healing, right? You're talking to yourself. What's going on with you? Look in your eyes. How are you gonna lie to your own self? It might be easy to front with others, hide, and not want to get too deep, but you owe it to yourself to be real with yourself and love yourself. Like, that's our number one duty, is to love ourselves. So this is love in action. I was sitting there talking to myself, right? And shadow work can be so triggering because you have to face the parts of you that have been hidden. I don't want to see myself that way. No, I don't think that. And it was so hard for me to say, you guys. Like, it can be hard for you to admit certain things to yourself. But the beautiful part is that once you can say it, and I'm telling you, like, I don't know if it's just me, but I was struggling, and I caught myself like, okay, that's my pride. That's my ego. My ego's not my amigo, you know? And it's always like a sentence or two or three. It's very clear. It's very direct. It's your own spirit, you know, speaking to you and telling you what the deal is. And once you can get over that hurdle of facing your feelings of what they are, instead of judging them, just seeing them, and it can feel painful and very uncomfortable because you didn't know this about yourself and you don't want to see yourself this way. But when you allow yourself to and you surrender to this inner work, then that's when the healing can start. Acceptance, and from there, love. Create space for your feelings and validate them and say it's okay. And then go deeper. Well, where did it come from? Oh, okay. And it just unlocks new potentials, and you have a breakthrough this way. You start the healing process this way, and you can make decisions about how you want to move forward in your life. Drop me a comment. Is this making sense to you guys? And that's why I asked you guys, are you the source of your own happiness? You know, do you feel that you need to get something to feel good about yourself? Do you feel that you're missing anything in your life? I think a lot of us can relate to this. This is some of the things that came up when I was doing shadow work on myself. And I know what the answers are. It's just that I didn't know that those feelings were lurking within me. And the thing about it is, our fears and our traumas, our wounds can create chaos in other parts of our life until we can face it. Any destruction you see in the world is coming from unhealed wounds, which is why this channel is Healing Honey. You know, I want to share love with you guys and understanding. When we can really get to know ourselves and learn how to heal ourselves, we're going to feel so good. We're going to see a better world. We're going to have healthier relationships. We're going to feel happier, you know, and just know how to navigate our life better, because we're going to face situations where we're going to have to tap into our inner strength, and you want to learn how to be there for yourself. So that's what self-love is really, to me, is building this relationship with yourself and learning how to be the source of your own happiness. I was reading this book by Eckhart Tolle a couple years ago. I have a video on my channel, I'll probably link it down below, about spiritual relationships and their true purpose in our lives. You know, we have to relearn so many things because we're not taught how to love ourselves. We're taught the opposite. We're not taught so much about our power. We have to unlearn to relearn. So Eckhart Tolle has a book, The Power of Now, and he was talking about relationships. We've been told in the world that, you know, especially as women, from little babies, we've been programmed our minds to look for a Prince Charming. Oh, he's our savior. And oh, we need someone to come in to be complete. Now, I'm all for love, you guys, but healthy. And the real love has to stem from within. And so learning how to be that love that we've been taught to seek. The love is already here. You can feel the love right now, because the love, like Eckhart Tolle said in his book, is not coming from your partner. It's coming from you. They can spark love within you, but the love doesn't come from them. It comes from you. And when you really realize this, you recognize that you have so much power within you. Your feelings, they're not other people's responsibility, they're yours. And we put so much pressure, we can, on our partners. Oh, they made me feel this way. They made me do this. They blah, 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 blah. But really, it's us. So we have to look in the mirror and be real with ourselves and reclaim our power. And it doesn't mean that you don't need other people, but it means that you need your own love first. That's how you're going to be in a healthy place to give love and receive love. When you have that solid foundation of self-love and recognize that your feelings are your feelings. Your self-worth doesn't come from other people coming into your life or going out of your life, staying in your life, leaving, like we can give our power away without realizing it, and it causes so much pain and suffering. But when you really know your worth, you're good, you're solid, and you embody love for yourself, you start to be there for yourself, care for yourself, and just accept yourself, then you become very powerful. You empower yourself. And then anyone who comes in your life is only going to match that vibration that you're on of real love for yourself. So this means creating boundaries, standards for your life, not being afraid to be alone, learning how to hear and listen to your own inner voice. If you're hurting, if you're happy, like tuning into yourself. It's something that we have to learn how to do. Comforting yourself, praising yourself, like uplifting yourself, being like, you did a great job, I'm so proud of you. Checking yourself, keeping your own self accountable. So many things that we look to others to do, but we can do it for ourselves. And when you start to do this, you are going to learn how to protect your energy, your inner world, your essence, your spirit becomes your safe place. It becomes a sacred dwelling. I heard Maya Angelou once talk about how we want to create a space within us that's pristine and clean, that no one can touch, that you can go to as a place of refuge, and those words are so beautiful. It's so true. We want to do this for ourselves. We can do this for ourselves. We need to do this for ourselves. Because everything in our life stems from our relationship with ourselves. This is going to protect you from so much BS as well. Things like abuse, gaslighting, neglect, abandonment, all of these horrible issues in the world, you can free yourself from it. Like if someone's not treating you right, you can free yourself. You are not chained to that situation. You empower yourself when you take your power back. And sometimes I didn't like hearing that, you guys. Take your power back. And also when you're going through a storm, I just want to encourage you. Like if you're going through a rough time, if you're learning how to do this, as I have been learning how to do this, just be gentle with yourself and be so patient and so loving. Treat yourself like a child, how you would a child. How you would nurture and reassure a child and say, you got this, you're doing great, it's okay. That's how we want to treat our own selves, and this is especially for people who have had a rough upbringing, which I know a lot of you must be here on my channel. Okay, I've attracted you in because as I'm doing this work on myself, it's going to be helping you in your life. That's my intention. And a lot of us, we don't have any control when we're little. What we're born into, the situations that we're born into, what we see, and then all of the chaos in the world, right? So that's why these tools are important. Learning how to be there for yourself in a real way, learning how to love yourself, learning how to be in your power, not giving it away, but having it within. And this is going to grant you discernment in life and peace. Inner peace, which is huge. Not to say that everything's going to be perfect, not even close. Not even close, you guys. I don't care what is happening on social media. Nobody's life is perfect. We all go through it. But that's why we want to dig past our ego into our spirit, into our shadows, and just dive into our inner world. It's exciting to me. I have a lot of some of my birth chart is in Scorpio, and so I'm like all about this. And if you're around my age, yours is too. So let me know your thoughts on today's video, you guys. I'm sending you so much love and so much healing and so much power on your journey. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.